The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the September 30th, the terrific Tuesday edition of today's Trader's Edge Show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. How about we have an extraordinary one? The easiest way to do that? Well, it's to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. I do want you to know I am absolutely grateful for your presence here. But even more important than that, and that's this. During this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to send me an email. Send it off to steve@tfnn.com. Inside that subject heading, please put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tigers Den, well, then any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on Terrific Tuesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. So a bit of a mixed bag is how we're going to start our day. Dow down 101, S&P's up 4, NASDAQ's up 11, Russell's down 14, 200 for the transports, 38 to the upside for the semis. New York Stock Exchange is off 75 bucks out there. Gold is up 13 bucks. Silver's down 35 cents. Like crude off $1.14. So we got plenty to look at. We've got the charts here for NVIDIA on my screen. Obviously one of the favorites of many. NVIDIA today, a close above the high from the trading session of August the 28th is going to negate its top. That high out there is at 184.47. We're 186.97. So NVIDIA is in full breakout mode on the daily time frame. The weekly time frame will accomplish the same task on Friday if price closes above 184.48. That would be negating its TD9 count top and talk about a strong upward momentum move. Let's take a look at the monthly time frame chart. Today is the end of the month. Here we have no topping signal. Okay, is Rhodes meant to indicate a pattern that as a signal, but that needs a bearish reversal candle to confirm that top out there. So it just means we're stretched. That doesn't mean we are at a top or anything along those lines. Combined with the fact that price is trading above its green oscillator and change line, that's bullish, as well as the top of its profile 146.89. That's on the monthly time frame. So it's a longer term. I don't, forget, even if we do get some type of pullback here, longer term, NVIDIA wants higher price. That is the message of the market of these three charts out there. In fact, since it is the end of the month, we should go take a look at what is going on here at the end of the month. Let's get a bigger picture view. So let's do that. Plus, I can close this down after we look at it. It'll free up a lot of resources because there's a lot of data on these charts here. Upper left-hand panel, as you take a look at it, you're looking at the Dow Jones for its monthly time frame. You can see we're in bar number 4 of a TD9 count, so we're far away from any kind of top there. It has a Rhodes momentum indicator signal present, but that needs a bearish reversal candle. Last month, we negated a Rhodes momentum indicator top inside of the Dow. As long as price remains above its green oscillator and change line, 45.082, things will remain bullish. They'll still remain bullish even if price were to drop below that, but it would have lost its momentum. But longer term, the Dow is still in breakout mode. If we take a look at the S&P 500, the same message there. You can see price well above its green oscillator and change line, 63.43. And the importance of going through this, quite frankly, is so when we look at and we see some daily top or some weekly topping signal out there, you got to take things in stride in a step here and understand what's going on at all these different levels. The NDX 100 as another example is trading well above last month's high. We're trading above its green oscillator change line. We're in bar number 4 to the upside. Now we have rallied in the case of the NDX 100 and several of these, but in the case of the NDX 100, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the 6th month in a row to the upside out there. So at some point in time, we're going to take a breather. The Russell 2000 continues to struggle at its TD9 count breakdown resistance level, 2458.90. Now, maybe it's going to close above that at day's end. I don't know. If it did, it would negate its Rhodes momentum indicator top, and that formed back in November of 2021 out there. With regard to the semiconductor index, you can see on a daily basis, it's going to likely shed its TD9 count top. That had formed on July, this is a monthly time frame, July of 2024 out there. So we're going to negate that today. So that pattern goes away. The semis are telling you about a strong upward momentum move out here. The transports are the weak link inside the entire market out here. You can see what basically is a sideways-ish type move out here. Prices really struggle at its oscillator and change line. It closed up by a smidgen above it last week. We need more than a smidgen. The oscillator and change line as we speak right now is printing out at 15,859.63. You take a look at that XAU, put those last 2 months together, you can see you got a major a candle there, if you will. No topping signal on the monthly time frame for the XAU. And the same is true for the New York Stock Exchange. Not that we can trade it, but still understanding the general breadth of the market and what's going on. This is also strong like bull. So on the monthly time frame, with regard to the daily cash indices out there, did you hear Stevie mention a top anywhere? Well, yes, you did. You heard me mention the top on the Russell 2000, prices tackling that, and then on the Dow Jones transports. But the other indices out there, no such thing. Now, I'm going to shut this down. It's going to take a few seconds or so, probably more than a few seconds, to actually shut itself down. And then what I want to do is go take a look at the weekly time frame. So let's go from one level to the next, plus having these charts open on my system really draws down the resource just because of the number of days of bars of look back data that we're taking a look at. But I think it's really important for you to understand what's going on. And the easiest way to do that is to take a look at the bigger picture. Now what we want to do is go to a more intermediate term picture. And as soon as I can get to those charts here, what we are going to, here we go, it's going to pop up now. What we are going to see is a number, not all of them, but a number of TD9 count potential tops out there. And what I mean by that, if you take a look at the Dow Jones Industrials, that is not the case. In other words, bar number 7, last month's high, is the high of the pattern so far. In order to get a TD9 count top this month, today you're going to get bar number 8. So that you're going to get. It's just not a TD9 count topping signal. You still have to poke your head above last month's high out there. So the weekly time frame chart, now look, last month or last week, I should say, was pretty much a doji candle out there. So if you did get a bearish reversal candle, you could get or would get a sell the D point top. But price needs to close below its green oscillator and change line to get any kind of traction. 45,745 is a number. The weekly S&P 500 will form a TD9 count topping pattern today. Oh, and I'm sorry, we'll look at the weekly chart. We'll confirm that topping pattern on Friday, so long as price close above bar number 5's close. Seems like that's a likely outcome. Remember, the top on a TD9 count can take place in bars 8, 9, or the bar following 9. I'm going to go with the bar following 9 at this stage of the game. On the NDX 100 for its weekly time frame, also at the end of the week, we'll likely go ahead and confirm a TD9 count top that will be completed next week. Price remains bullish, and that is trading above its green oscillator and change line. In the case of the Russell 2000, we know that it found resistance at its Rhodes momentum indicator top out there, both on the monthly time frame, which took us back to 2021, and the weekly time frame, which takes us back to December the 6th of 2024. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. When we come back, we'll finish looking at the weekly charts, and then we'll look at the daily, and then we'll start to get to requests.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched The Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years, with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. Let me pull the weekly indices back up on my screen out here. We'll have those up momentarily. I believe we left off at the Russell 2000. We know that that's got that ran into its Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, so that's proven to be stronger resistance. Now, the cool thing about that on a weekly basis for the Russell 2000, just let me get these charts here to properly populate. But if price is able to close above at any point in time on a weekly basis, 2466.50, that would be a very bullish outcome. The semiconductor index is in bar number 8 of a TD9 count for its weekly time frame, so it could identify a top between this week and the next 2 weeks out there. Transports again in a world of their own. The NASDAQ Composite negated a TD9 count top several weeks ago, so no topping signal there. And the New York Stock Exchange also has no topping pattern. It will form bar number 8 today, as long as price is able to close above, which it should be able to do, close above 21,136.04. And then in order to form a TD9 count top next month, it's going to have to close above 21,374.32. So that's what's going on a weekly time frame. Remember, we didn't see much in the way of tops on the monthly time frame. We do see a couple of potential topping signals, those TD9 count patterns out there, but it's not across the board or anything along those lines. So I don't think now is the time for any kind of significant top out there. Let's go take a look at the daily time frame. Again, we just got to give me a moment here for the system to set up. But how about today is we've got the baseball playoffs starting. That's a wonderful thing. So I think we've got games that start right around 1 o'clock or so, all the way through the evening time. I believe it's 4 games. So that's going to be cool to watch. You got the Tigers and the Guardians. I know they are playing. I think they kick things off this afternoon. It'll be interesting to see if, in fact, the Tigers can get their you-know-what together. In fact, it was the Tigers and Guardians that I saw a couple weeks ago it wasn't on Tuesday, it was on Wednesday. In any event, let me get now to the daily cash indices out here. So let's talk about the Sox as an example. The weekly had a TD9 count pattern out there. Bar number 8 today says that the top could take or should form by Friday. Well, as we take a look at the Sox today, we would say this week is not the top. Why? Because there's no topping signal on the daily time frame. Remember, we look at the intraday charts. We start off with the daily, what's going on underneath the covers or what have you. Well, in this case, we just looked at the larger time frames, monthly and weekly. Now we're back to, in essence, an intraday type of a chart out here, which would be the daily time frame. So bottom left, we do not have any kind of a topping signal out there. And so the Sox is not going to top at all unless we get that. If we take a look at the Dow Jones Industrials, also no top there. Bearish reversal candle would confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator top out there. If you look at the S&P 500, now the S&P 500 for a daily time frame does have a Rhodes momentum indicator top at a key reversal bar back on September 23rd out there. So you do have a top inside the S&P and the NDX 100. We've got a sell the D point at top. That formed on September 23rd with that bear sash candle. The Russell 2000, Rhodes momentum indicator top with that bearish shooting star on September 23rd out there. Again, so we've had those tops in place here, and all it's led to so far is pretty much a sideways-ish type consolidation. Transports, again, struggling, but that's for all time frames, daily, weekly, or monthly. You've got to sell the D point top on the NASDAQ composite, Rhodes momentum indicator top on the daily time frame for the New York Stock Exchange. So the interesting thing is you've got some of those tops, but on the weekly, the monthly time frame chart, they're saying, man, not so fast out there. So even if we do get a September high out here, I don't see it. At least the charts at this stage of the game are not suggesting this is any kind of a major top. In fact, quite the opposite. I've gone back. I've shared this with each of you before. I've gone back and taken a look at every single major top in the Dow going back to 1898, I believe it is. I've got to go back and take a look at that year. But every single one of them, every single one with a major top. And so here's, I'll pull up the, where did I put it? Right here should be the S&P 500. So let's go take a look at this. On a daily, weekly, and monthly time frame, if we're going to get any kind of a major top, all three, okay, not two of the three, not one of the three, all three will have a topping pattern out there. On the daily time frame for the S&P, we already talked about the daily Rhodes momentum indicator top, the weekly potential for a TD9 count top out there, and the monthly is saying, no way, Jose, out here. Maybe I pull back and test my oscillator and change line at 63.41. Now, look, that would be about a 300-point move to the downside, so that would seem significant, but in the bigger picture, it quite frankly would be relatively insignificant. So that's a feel for what's going on with regard to the indices out there. I do hope that helps you out. I wanted to do one other thing. There was a question that came up yesterday. I didn't get through it as well. It was from Mr. Bill inside the Tiger's Den. He was looking for my charts that really were popularized by Bud Rolfs, who was a contributor here many years, decades ago, actually, and he created these things called horizontal trading ranges. Now, he did everything visually. In my case, being it was a tad younger than Bud, I just simply automated it. So all of these lines that you're seeing out there, they are not put in here by Stevie. The system goes through and identifies for whatever time frame we're looking at the largest number of co-located opens or closes. It can be an open or it can be a close out there. And what we're looking for is the largest sets. In the case of the monthly time frame chart for the this is for what? What do we have up here? We've got the gold contract. Because the question yesterday was about gold and silver. And so for the gold contract, what we can see is price is about, so I got a couple different things out here. First, with regard to horizontal trading ranges, we have just sliced through 37, 27, 40. Now, price could pull back to test that level, 37, 27, 40, because it hasn't been tested. If you take a look at this 27, 48 area, you can see how price moved up, tested, rejected, finally went through it. You get up to 33, 27, you get above it, you pull back and test and reject it. So I would say that this is the same type of pattern out there, but where the price of gold is headed for is that rising price channel. That does not mean that it will stop in that area. That's right around the 40.25 level, or above that 42.17. So that's the monthly time frame chart. I can also pare this down and take a look at a weekly time frame, which is what we have here. On the weekly time frame, and I don't know if on Friday we will be above 38.27, but if we are, that's another weekly horizontal trading range that will have failed. That would suggest that what gold is going to do is make a move up towards 40.63. 40.63 is the next horizontal trading range. It's also a diagonal. Those white diagonals, I've got yellow rising price channels and white. They look kind of grayish, but really they are white out there. So that's where price is likely headed to. Again, that 40.63 level out there. What I didn't get a chance to do yesterday, well, actually, we really didn't run through this. We kind of ran through it pretty quickly. So this is as of yesterday, by the way, folks. This is as of maybe about 2:30 in the afternoon. And here what you'll notice, this is the Dow. This is gold priced in major currencies. The 5 major currencies, the euro, the yen, the pound, the Canadian, and the Swedish krona. Well, the Swiss francs as well. That's what makes up the U.S. dollar index out there. So we are trading higher in all those currencies. We are also trading higher in terms of Chinese yuan, and we also made a new all-time high in terms of Russian rubles. That's what you want to see in bullish markets. Now, the only caution signal here, this is why you look for tops. This is why you understand pattern recognition, is because when gold does top, it'll do so in all the major currencies as well. So you've got the bullish side, which is what you want to see. You want to see everything rallying in those major currencies. And then you just want to know how to play the game of musical chairs out there. And in the stock, at least what we do here at TFNN, is we use patterns, whether it's myself, whether it's Larry, whether it's Basil, whether it's Tommy out there. We're looking for patterns. Now, one pattern that we want to be aware of, I wish I didn't make a copy of that chart. I don't think I did. This is gold, by the way, in most of the Middle Eastern currencies out there. The only Middle Eastern currency that gold was not trading at a new all-time high yesterday was the Israeli shekel. I'm not really sure what that means about that, because the others would be telling me that there ain't no way there's going to be a peace deal. But the fact that we're not up there in terms of Israeli shekels, maybe that's not the case. I don't know. We're going to find out soon enough out here. This is gold, taking a look at the yearly, monthly, weekly, and the daily time frame. And shoot, what did I do here? Where did that go? We're in break? Oh, sorry about that.
To your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Trader's Edge is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Sorry about that, folks. I wasn't paying attention to the break and talked right through it. But hopefully you got the gist of the last chart that we were taking a look at. Now, in this chart here, this is the yearly time frame chart for gold. That's the left-hand panel. It's a continuous contract. What you'll see is that this year we are in bar number 9 of a TD9 count. As we know, the top can come on bars 8 and 9 to the bar following 9. If we take a look at the 11-year run-up that gold had back here into the 2011 time frame, we can see that the top formed on the bar following bar number 9. I believe that is a likely outcome this year as well. Why? Just because of that pattern? No. The yearly time frame would be our bigger picture. What would be an intraday chart? The monthly time frame. What are we going to do on a monthly time frame chart today? We are going to negate its TD9 count top. That was right here back about 5 months ago. Yes, we are still in wave number 7. That is letter G out there. But we're negating that TD9 count top. That is a bullish outcome. The weekly's got no topping signal, and the daily is going to likely go ahead and negated its Rhodes momentum indicator top yesterday out there. So in the case of silver, here if we look at silver, and this is what I really wanted to get to because I didn't get to this yesterday, silver's trading into its TD9 count top. Remember, when a top is made in the market, we're going to see it. There's going to be one of the patterns that certainly that I share with you. Again, that Basil or Larry shares with. If we look at the monthly time frame, we're only in bar number 7 to the upside out there. Far away from any top. On the weekly time frame, the same thing, bar number 7. On the daily time frame, no topping signal. There is a wave number 7 signal out there, so that could be a short-term top. But as long as price remains above its oscillator and change line, this is what I really wanted to get to, and this was the horizontal trading range boundary line chart for silver. I gave it gold in separately on the monthly and then the weekly. This happens to be a weekly chart for silver, having the monthly, which are the red horizontal lines out there, and the weekly, which are the green ones. So we can see that silver is running up towards an A to B equals CD, 1 to 1.618 level at the 47.67. Just above that at 48.23 is a horizontal trading range boundary line for the weekly time frame. We sliced right through the 45.54 level on the monthly time frame. That was its horizontal trading range, so it wouldn't be unusual, just like we cover with gold, for price to pull back and test that level, since it really wasn't tested, so to speak. 45.54 would be the number. So I hope Mr. Bill was listening and he got all of that information out there. And let's go ahead and move on to some requests out here. I can always go back to those charts if there's anything to look at. The first request came in from Dan, who wanted to take a look at Nike because Nike's got earnings after the bell. So let's get up the charts here. NKE is a ticker symbol. Let's go see if there's any kind of clues out here. So what do we know about Nike for its daily time frame? We know that it has a TD9 count bottom that is under attack. That TD9 count bottom formed on September 25th out there. That low, which is the key low, is 69.05. Dan, I would say a price close below 69.05 today. Number one, it's going to negate that TD9 count bottom for the daily time frame. And that would tell me that price is likely to head lower. Head lower to where? Well, the first place that I would say that it's going to test is this bullish hammer candle from 2 days ago. And that low out there is 68.03. So that's a low that I would be, so there's really two lows I'd be watching. The first one being the TD9 count bottom low. That's at 69.05. If that holds out there, and because of yesterday's bullish hammer candle out there, I would say more likely than Nike would rally. Now, rally to where? I'd say rally up towards its oscillator and change line at 70.81 out there. Can price get above that? I don't know if it can or it can't. I mean, it can't do anything that it wants, but that would be your resistance level to the upside out there. The next resistance level would be 72 bucks even Steven, the bottom of that daily profile. So you've got the numbers to be watching on Nike, which is helpful because it will then give us a fairly decent indication as how the market's going to respond after the earnings are released. Now, the weekly time frame chart shows that we are trading below its oscillator and change line, which is red, so that's kind of a bearish signal out there. Perhaps price is going to go ahead and pull back to the top of its profile, 66.51. Dan, if it closes below 66.51 on Friday, then we're headed back towards the 61.02 mark. The monthly time frame for Nike is just consolidating with inside its daily profile. So it's run the range, so to speak. It's run the range from support down at 67.36 out there, and it's gotten close to the top of that profile, 82.44. So if the question is Nike giving us any kind of signal as to how it's going to trade after the earnings release, I still say you come back to that daily time frame and those numbers, Dan, and I think that will then answer that question. So I hope that helped you out with regard to Nike and everybody else who's wondering what's Nike going to do after earnings come out tonight. Nitram wants to take a look at ticker symbol AVO. So let's get that up on our screen out here. AVO right now is printing out at about $11.99. Now, you're going to get a daily TD9 count bottom pattern that forms today, Nitram. That pattern will complete tomorrow. What should then unfold is price should rally up towards its oscillator and change line, but we can see you've got profile resistance first at $12.30. The weekly time frame isn't as excited as the daily time frame in that price is trading below profile support. So you got that TD9 count bottom pattern. It's going to form today, complete tomorrow. You'd like to see on Friday price get back inside his profile. That means close above 12.14. The monthly chart for AVO is just a consolidation with inside his profile. It's run from $10.11 at support to resistance up at the 14.11 area. So the best thing you've got going for you for AVO is a TD9 count bottom pattern. Yesterday may have been the low of that pattern. It's always possible that it could be tomorrow, but it should rally towards that 12.30 level out there. AQST is another request from Nitram inside the Tiger's Den. AQST is printing out right now at 557. It is trading above the top of its monthly profile. That is a bullish outcome. The top of that profile is 544. We're at 556. It is taking on a swing point from back in March of 2024. 82 million shares traded that month. This month, this has traded 85 million shares. When you close inside a swing point, which this is going to do, it actually has tested and rejected the high thus far. If you do it with volume, you're going to get back up there. So by back up there, that means that you should see AQST make a move back towards 454. If it closes above 454, you're then going to trigger an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. That pattern is going to look something like this. There's your A to B point, just a little bit short of where it needs to be, but close enough really for our work here. Let's go ahead and copy, paste, and assemble out there. And your A to B equals CD would give you a price projection. About $7.73. That's the larger time frame. Okay, now let's look at the weekly. The weekly is likely going to form a sell the D point top this week. It's only Tuesday, so let's see what happens by Friday. Right now, you've got a bearish engulfing candle, meaning the body of the current candle has wrapped around the prior candle. What does that tell us? That says that we should pull back towards 486, and if price were to close below 486, we'd be looking at 423. The daily time frame for AQST also has a top, a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top, but right now, price is testing key support, and that is that green oscillator and change line. If price were to close below 555, that's the OUL value, we'd see a move towards the 504 to 523 level. Longer term, AQST looks good and wants to at least go test that swing point high, perhaps even form an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside out there. The weekly and the daily are saying we may pull back, but watch that daily green oscillator change line. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstad releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento. A pro's pro with over 50 years of experience, Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We're looking at ticker symbol RGTI. RGTI on its monthly time frame has got an A to B equals CD pattern. To the upside, it's also got a Rhodes momentum indicator signal that's been triggered. Price is trading up profile resistance is month number 3 to the upside out there. Maybe it's getting ready for a pullback, but let's take a look at the weekly time frame chart. In order for that to generate a pullback signal, we need to see a bearish reversal candle. We don't have that. Short of that, price is likely to rally further. The daily time frame does not have a topping pattern. We just have price consolidating with inside its daily profile, and it's the upper range of that profile. That's really between 28.21 and 34.40. But if price did close below 28.21, you would have daily support at 23.56. So monthly says higher price, weekly says higher price, daily says I'm just taking a time out and moving sideways and probably gearing up for a further move higher. So that's what we see with RGTI. Duncan, hope that helps you out. You also want to take a look at Marvell, as does Bob in Spokane. MRVL is a ticker symbol, and that is trading out right now at 83.03. Now, it will go ahead and complete a TD9 count. Hold a minute here. Yeah, it'll go ahead and complete a TD9 count topping pattern today, so long as price is able to close above the close of bar number 5, 80.09. So looks like you're going to get a TD9 count top that forms today, completes tomorrow. What should unfold here, guys, is price should pull back to that green oscillator and change line, 77.62-ish. It's not a guarantee that price is going to pull back there, but that's what should unfold. Remember, if the pattern gets negated, which will be the high of the pattern right now, that's yesterday's high, but we don't know about tomorrow's candle just yet out there. Whatever the high of the pattern is, let's assume that it was yesterday's high, and that is at 85.09. If price closes above that, strong upward momentum move. The weekly time frame chart is trading into a swing point, bearish shooting star from August 1st of 2025. 128 million shares traded that week. Last week, 161 million shares. That says you were going to get up and test that swing point. Again, the high of that swing point, 85.27. The high this week so far, 85.09. So we still have not tested it. We've got much lighter volume this week, but it's only Tuesday, so I don't want to really try to mathematically figure that out. Last week was telling you that price wants to go take on that shooting star candle. If price is able to close above that, you're going to trigger an A to B equals CD pattern to the upside. So 85.27 is the key number to be watching there. But no topping signal. In fact, it's telling you it wants to move higher. If we look at the monthly time frame chart, it consolidates with inside its daily profile. It did find support at the 60-62-ish level. Price is trading above that green oscillator and change line. That's at 80.60. A close above that increased the odds of a rally towards 90.34. So it's a daily that wants to take a bit of a timeout. The weekly says timeout, schmimeout. The monthly says I'm ready to roll, but it does have resistance up at that 90.34 level. So Duncan and Spokane Bob, that's what I see when we take a look at Marvell. Mimi wants to take a look at Occidental Petroleum, and her question is buy or sell. Hold or sell, not buy or sell, hold or sell. So if we look at the data, so I'm going to share with you, Mimi, what the charts are communicating to us, and you're going to make that decision for yourself out there because you're the one that has to make that risk-reward decision. When we look at I'm going to start with the monthly time frame. The monthly time frame completes a beautiful TD9 count bottom, April of 2025, and then what price does is rally. So it forms that nice bottoming pattern out there, and it rallies. And it rallies up to where? There are two levels on a monthly time frame that are significant resistance for Occidental Petroleum. The very first one is the oscillator and change line. It changed colors from green to red. Last month was a test and rejection. This month a test and rejection with it being red. Now, ordinarily I'd say that is bearish. However, we still remain inside the buy zone of the monthly profile, 46.33 to 49.58. I am not trying to confuse you. I'm just trying to give you the information that's needed to get the proper signal out there. As long as price remains inside that profile on a monthly time frame, it could be telling us that it really wants to just it's waiting for the daily and the weekly to gear up to really take on that significant resistance, which is 49.58. The center of that bullish structured profile, that price traded below for more than 2 consecutive sessions. The weekly time frame needs a close above it. Actually, I'm sorry, take that back. It does have an A to B equals CD pattern. Let me just go ahead and copy and paste this line. We'll go ahead and punch that in there. I don't know that it's been confirmed with volume. Doesn't necessarily have to be confirmed with volume. You just like that. So there's an A to B equals CD that gets you up towards 54.12. And we are trading above the top of that weekly profile, which is 46.37. So that's a bullish outcome. Now, it was a TD9 count top that is the B point of the A to B equals CD pattern. 94 million shares traded that week. When we closed above it, that was the week of September. I actually can't tell. August. It was August. Doesn't tell me which week that is. In any event, we closed above with 40 million shares. So light volume. Nonetheless, you still have an active A to B equals CD pattern with price trading above profile. So this is not a sell. You're asking hold or sell. Monthly is questionable, but because it's trading inside that profile, we kind of neutralize that signal a bit. So now let's get to the daily. And the daily today is forming a Rhodes momentum indicator top. Here, price is testing that first level of support. And that first level of support is at 46.77. And as long as price remains above 46.77, it is definitely not a sell. It is a hold. If price gets below that, we would expect and anticipate that price would then go target other profile levels, those being 46.10 or 45.43. I don't know what your outlook is, why you got into us, what time frame it was, and so forth. So that's why it becomes difficult for me to make that call. But you at least now have the levels to be looking at, so you can ticket if we close below or close above any of these levels and where it would lead us to the next higher or lower level of price out there. So Mimi, I hope that made sense to you, and if it didn't, my apologies for sure, because that's not trying to confuse you at all. Dan writes in, and his question is, can he take a long position today inside of a Salesforce Innovation? CRM is a ticker symbol. But of course, we would say, hey, Dan, you can do whatever you'd like. Of course, you're looking for information perhaps a little bit better than that. So let's get to the charts here. What do we know about the daily time frame chart? What we know right now is price is testing a TD9 count bottom pattern. No, I take that back. That was only a TD9 count. That was not the bottom pattern. It's trading into the swing point of a TD9 count bottom that formed on September the 4th. A TD9 count, not a bottom. A TD9 count. The low of that pattern was bar number 1. That's a swing point. That is September 4th. That is 31 million shares that traded that day. So far today, in a little over 2 hours of trading, we're down with about 4.5 million shares. So that says you're 9, you're 13, you're 14 million or so. You're around the similar type volume as price moves into that. So if price does close inside this swing point today with more than 31 million shares, wait, 31 million, where are we at today? We're not going to be anywhere near that volume. But nonetheless, if price closes inside there, it could be signaling that it wants to go test that low of 234.62. What I really think is transpiring here is what price wants to do is make a run for its TD9 count bottom that actually did form on August 12th, at least the high of that, which is 233.67. If it tests and rejects that on less than 13 million shares, that would be a bullish outcome. So the daily, the work to the downside may not be done. So would that be time to enter the trade? If you look at the weekly time frame chart, it's waiting for a bullish reversal candle to confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom, but it doesn't need that. Price tested and rejected its TD9 count bottom that formed out here the week of April the 11th out there. That volume was 49 million shares. It was tested and rejected with 54 million shares. And then it was tested again. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back. We'll finish up CRM for Dan M.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pros pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. We're looking at the charts here for CRM. This is for Dan. His question is, should he enter this for a long trade today? My answer is going to be absolutely not. Now, let me tell you how I came up with that. During that break, what I looked at was really the monthly time frame chart. The month ends today. We're going to close below 245.89, or I presume we're going to close below that. We are going to close below the bottom of that bullish structured profile. That tells me that it wants lower price. Now, the swing point was actually last month. That swing point was a bullish hammer candle. Volume traded last month was 172 million shares. We are already at 214 million shares. Pushing into a swing point with volume. Price wants to get down and test that low. That low being the 226.48 level out there. So I'm going to say on CRM, be patient and wait and see what happens as price moves. Should price move down to that level out there. The last request is to take a look at TSN. This is for the freeze inside the Tiger's Den. As far as TSN is concerned, I have a consolidation on the daily time frame with inside his profile 53.57 at support, resistance 54.68. Weekly time frame chart. Consolidation with inside of profile support. 53.02 at support. 55.96 is resistance. Weekly basis, price is trading into a swing point from back on August 1st. 14.4 million shares that week. This week so far we're at 4.8 million shares. Last week we were at 12 million shares, but we're still trading inside that swing point. So until we see how that swing point gets taken care of, we just don't know what the price's intentions are. Yes, price did find support at the bottom of its weekly profile. The monthly time frame has a TD9 count top. That was back in September of 2024. Price is going to look like it's going to close below the bottom of its profile. The bottom of the profile being 55.06. That would say price is running perhaps for this swing point out here. The high, at least of October 2023, was 50 million shares that traded that month. A couple months ago, we got down with 53 million shares. Last month, it was 59 million shares. And again, this month, only 53 million shares out there. So I think that what TSN wants as well, freeze, is lower price. Folks, stay tuned for all the great programming. Thanks for putting up with me today. May have misspoke a couple of times, not intentional, that is. And have a terrific Tuesday. And I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 11 a.m. on Wonderful Wednesday. Have a great day and be safe out there.